Alright. Stop. Just getting it out.
Let's go home, we're coming home. That one. What's up, you guys? My name is Kenneth Michael Holly. I am a musician. How long have you been playing music? I have been playing music for about, I want to say, I'm probably coming up on 10 years now. I started playing, I guess you can call it professionally or trying to be professional, whatever. About 4 or 5 years ago. So the other years was just me playing around, going to shows and singing and stuff, and working on my craft. So we'll say I'm gonna say I've been in music probably about 10 years altogether as far as working at it. Actually performing and doing shows, we're gonna say about maybe 5 or so. Well, three consecutively, and then on and off for the past 2 years. So next question. What is your first instrument? What was your first instrument? Okay. My first instrument was I had a guitar first. That was the first instrument I owned. But the first instrument I learned how to play were drums. I started at Gaston High in their drum section in the band or whatever, and I played concert snare. Mr. Abercrombie, what's up? He taught me a lot of the fundamentals and the basics on drums, and it kind of went from there. I remember, short story, I loved it. I loved concert band. Then I was going to move to marching. Hated it. I just wanted to play music. I really went into, really the whole school spirit and all the physical aspect of it, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people who do that are really sick. It's a lot of dedication. But for me, I just wanted to create. So I bowed out of that, and that's when I begged my grandmother to buy a drum kit. And that basically started my endeavors into music. Taught myself how to play the kit. That was that. Next, what guitars influenced you the most? I have a few. Jimi Hendrix, first and foremost. The dude, he inspired me to play from the heart, from somewhere within. He also inspired me to be more improv. I'm not gonna say it right, but he inspired me to be more into the improv side of music. I do a lot of, when I solo a lot, Jimmy is a lot of my influence. So big ups, rest in peace, bro. Another one would be Kurt Cobain was a big influence on me as far, not necessarily as a guitarist for real. When I first started, he was, but more like a guitarist, singer, songwriter. Dude was really dope. I love Nirvana, and I'll say that to the day that I die. I'm always gonna be a Nirvana fan. I'm always gonna be a Kurt Cobain fan, and that definitely was one. Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, dude was, that's another one, guitarist / singer-songwriter. He was writing some stuff at that time, man, that was like beyond for me. It was like he was writing pieces instead of, songs. You know what I'm saying? The whole band. But Billy Corgan, he was definitely an inspiration to me. He inspired me to be more poetic, to put more conviction into my music over time. Dimebag Darrell, as far as guitar playing, yes. Dude was just mean, man. You know what I'm saying? You really don't get, it's hard to get that raw, you know what I'm saying? That energy he had. I love Pantera, but I'm not they're not my favorite. But his playing was just phenomenal. Just heavy but classic. You know what I'm saying? Just dope, razor sharp. So yeah, definitely Dimebag Darrell. Rest in peace to him as well. top of my head, man, the last one I know, Claudio Sanchez. He was deaf. You know, here recently he's been more of an influence. Um, he got me. Claudio Sanchez has gotten me more into the progression, the proggy side of music, um, and that's another one who inspired me to once again uh, bring conviction into my music, my lyrics, or whatever, man. Just man, he just man, just the playing is just once again it's very comparable to I think Jimi Hendrix, which I think is another reason why I relate to Claudio Sanchez's playing. And dude, the dude's an all-around good songwriter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one thing I try to grasp myself around his concepts and the music compared to the comic books. You have this huge world, and I don't see how he can take that and put that in one album. I tried, once again, he got me into. I even tried to write a concept record, and it was just up here, just ridiculous. So I really tip my head off to that guy. Me too. Next question. Do you have any other creative outlets? Yeah, I'm a poet. I don't do as much as I used to, but I write poetry. I started out actually writing lyrics and poetry before I even started writing music or playing instruments. But I'm really into meditation. I'm really into spirituality, all that good stuff, man. Hopefully, I'm going to actually try to get my meditation training or regimen back on, so I can work on some things. And I'm really into martial arts. I love martial arts movies, but I also work at it. I typically lean towards Jeet Kune Do, capoeira, and really right now I'm really big on Wing Chun and Muay Thai. I just, that's a release for me. Besides music, obviously I write music. A lot of anger comes out, which I'm working on trying to write, a little bit cooler stuff. A little love here and there, but I really get a lot of frustration and discipline out of martial arts, and that's one of my biggest things right now. Weapons training, nunchucks, bow staff. I want to work with other stuff too. So, other hobbies, I like movies. I like chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm really kind of laid back. I just want to have a good, I just want to be relaxed, stress free, do my thing, and progress. Chill out. I missed one. What guitar is your favorite to use on stage? I've really grown accustomed to two particular guitars at the moment. My Silver Burst SG Epiphone. I love how that thing plays. It's real smooth. I need to get it fixed soon though, but it's real light, it hangs low. I got long arms, so it feels real good, man. I can kind of get real down and dirty and head bang, run around, do flips, whatever, and I feel comfortable. The other one is the Flying V, my Kerry King signature Flying V. My dad won. Do you have any rituals before writing music? Yes, I do. They've changed over the years. When I first started actually writing and recording my own music, I used to basically shut the door. I used to burn incense, just kind of set the mood, you know what I'm saying, to put me in the vibe and the zone to create music. At the time, that time period, I was working on an acoustic album or demo. That was my first project that I did on my own, and it just, I just did something like that to put me in the mood. It just kind of just went wherever it took me. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't much I did. It was more just I'm gonna hit the record button. I've got some licks, some riffs. I'm gonna lay them down, and then if I like what I lay down, I'm gonna write this over it, and then I'm gonna hear this and do that, and see what happens. Basically, the way I like to write. Well, I did at first. I like to just. It's kind of I describe it as a blank canvas. I like to just throw colors and stuff onto this white page, and then whatever comes out, I call it art, if I like it or not. And then I detail it from there. Nowadays, I would like to. It's changed a little bit. I don't do the burning of the incense and all that stuff. When I write, I typically just write based off of. It's a couple elements. One, I like to. It depends on what perspective I'm coming from. You know, how I'm feeling, what type of song I want to write. Do I want to write something chill? Do I want to write something, complicated and complex, or how am I, and what's the song about? 9 times out of 10, man, when I write now, I'm gonna have an idea. I might be at work and I might, something might come to mind, like a lyric, and then I'll start to go from there and start painting, basically. I start hearing the music, or I'll start working with it on guitar, and it'll just kind of come slowly. And to me, I never really feel like the art is finished or the music is finished. I feel like it's always an ongoing creative process. I don't feel like you ever really finish a song. Things might change live, things might change in the studio. I know I've changed a lot of lyrics and music compositions in the studio that I've wrote previously. And even on stage, I improv and things change. But really, there's really not much of a ritual now besides the fact that I still lock myself in my room. The main thing is I mostly write at night now. I don't really write in the daytime. I write when everybody's quiet, sleep, and it seems like I have more room to think, if that makes sense. And that's really the only ritual. Dim the lights down, a little TV in the background noise, and I just go in. What are the best and worst aspects of being a musician? Man, playing music is, it's a blessing and a curse. People think music is just all glitz glam, and we're gonna play this show and get all these girls and this, that, and the other. And I'm gonna pick up a guitar and be a rock god and all this over drums or whatever. And it's like, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. Just like anything. Good thing, you get to meet a lot of people. You get to have a good time playing shows. The camaraderie of the scene, something about being around people that you enjoy the same thing you do and work just as hard at it. You have a certain type of bond and all that good stuff. And, in a scene, in a healthy scene, it's good that bands help each other out. Hey, I need a drummer for this show. Can you hook me up? Vice versa. We need a guy to open up. We need a band to open up for next weekend. Can you guys help us out? Sure, we're all off. What I'm saying? It's just something cool about man, just being in there in the mix, and all the people, man. People enjoy. Most of the time, they appreciate what you do, and that's always a nice thing. It's a good feeling when someone appreciates what you do, and you can touch lives, and especially when you write music and people buy your albums and they maybe find something that helps them out in their life in lyrical content or just the song in general. It's weird. It's like a service, but it's not. A lot of good things about it. And as far as the bad aspects of being a musician, it's really just a little nitpickety crap. Sometimes you may not be able to find a drummer. Sometimes you may not be able to find this or that to do what you need to do. A lot of times you end up sometimes asked out, still having to pull off a show or play a show, but it works out one way or the other. Mainly there's really not a whole lot of downside about it, for real. It just depends on your situation. Sometimes the girlfriends can't take it, or the wives or the husbands or whatever. When you're a musician, you're involved with people. That's women, that's men, that's homosexuals, that's, all, everything, and, if you got the type of person where if you're dating somebody and they feel some type of way about certain people and they're not really a people person, they probably need to stay at home. And the reason I say that is because they can make your experience of what you love doing a nightmare. Obviously, in my situation, there's been shows where there's women, or whatever, and they come up to you, they enjoy, they want to tell you, you did a good good job, and meant to, but and they might want to shake your hand, or they might want an autograph, or something like that. And if you got a girl that really can't handle all that, that kind of makes it a nightmare and a bad experience. I've had shows where I've had a girl put me in a really bad place mentally because of some petty BS. And now my whole show experience, what I've worked for, me and my band has worked for probably a few weeks to do, this is the cake of it, and now I'm upset right before I go on and start the set. Stuff like that I can't stand when it comes to music, being a musician, man, but that's all in who you Next question. How do you deal with groupies? I mean, it's kind of, I think I kind of answered that already in the last question. It's like groupies, whatever. To me, they're like any other person. You know what I'm saying? I don't treat groupies bad. I've never really had any experience with groupies, but if I ever had like a bunch of groupies and stuff in my situation, it wouldn't be no thing. They're just like anybody else. But they have to respect me as a person as well as I have to respect them as a person. If I'm dating somebody, I'll let that be known. Look, you can't do crazy stuff. We're cool. Because you can't disrespect that person, and by whatever. So that's really about it. Groupies are cool. I mean, I think groupies get like a bad rep because it's associated with they just want to do you and all this stuff, man. But that's not necessarily true. I've been on to a lot of shows where I've seen women or even men that would be considered groupies, and they're harmless. They may follow the band to each show because they love the band, they love the show, and that's it. I'm not saying I don't know, but not all of them are out there having sex with them or trying, all that old crazy stuff, man. So I just feel like, when you come to my show, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna try to show some kindness to you. And if you want something signed, T-shirt, CD, or whatever, I'm happy. No thing. That looks like that is it. So I appreciate everybody, all the questions. I appreciate the support from my band right here, Burn the Wreckage, as well as other music projects, and I appreciate the participation. I put a post on Facebook just to have people ask questions, and this is basically what was the outcome of it. So thank you guys, and thank y'all for supporting the music. Also want to throw out there the album Defiance and Decadence, Burn the Wreckage. I know you can see that. That is out now. We haven't been playing any shows, so I haven't been able to put this out, sell them to whoever wanted a copy at shows and stuff, because we've been on a hiatus for a little while. But you can get this album right here on Reverb Nation. Big shout out to Mr. David Green, played the drums on the album. Jason Stevenson produced the album, engineered the album. Big ups to all the fam that supported this album's progression. The guys who helped write this music when the band was Midnight Rain, big ups to y'all. Amir, Kit, Scott, Clinton, Matthew, whichever one. Jacob, Kent's father, all those guys, man, I appreciate it. And, just if you want to pick up this album, ReverbNation.com, that's the only place that this album is available. Don't know how much it is. It's not that much because, it was just something that I wanted to do for the people, and, just to get this out there, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Check it out. So hit that subscribe button on this YouTube page, and find us on Facebook. You got a question, hit me up. Whatever, Burn the Wreckage, Facebook.com, or YouTube, Burn the Wreckage, this page right here, and I'm happy to talk with you, all that good stuff. All right. Peace. 2 fingers like a player.